Hi there and welcome to my live. My name is Paula Reed and I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator going by the name of Yellow Bear Stamping. Tonight I'm going to be using the Christmas tags and more mix and match specialty designer series paper to make some cards. So let's switch down to my desk and we'll get started. So this is some of the elements from this pack that I'll just move that along. So it's here on page 15 and you get a sheet with 4 other designs and some patterns, and they are around about 2 by 3 inches. And so that's this one down here, and I've already used those there. That's all that I've got left to use. And then you get this paper here, and there's 8 sheets of each of these, and it's double-sided. And then that one with that design on the back, and then this one and that one. And then there are 2 different sheets with all these little push out elements. So we're going to be doing a bit of using these little elements on our cards tonight. So I'll just move those out of the way. And the stamp set that I'm using is the seasonal tags for my Merry Christmas and the little bits of the trees and the pine on the inside. So I'll just carefully move that out of the way. I'll put that on the floor. So the first card I made, just move that, is this one here, which is from one of the sheets of the designer series paper. Now it's a 6 by 6 piece of paper, designer series paper, and I just trimmed it down and stamped directly onto the paper. And then on the inside I've stamped my trees in old olive, and then I've used garden green with a blender pen just to add the color, because the stamp is an outline stamp. And there's my card, and I've just used some embellishments on there. Yes, I have had my hair cut, Lisa. So I have been growing it. I'll just move my camera up a bit more. I have been growing it, well, I had been growing it for about 5.5 years. During lockdown, it was kind of like, can't get to the hairdresser, and I used to have a fringe, so I grew my fringe out, which was rather painful, and I had been growing it so that I could donate it for a wig. A client of my hairdresser's, her granddaughter has alopecia, and she's about 7 years old, and was a redhead as well. So on Friday I spent 2 hours at the hairdresser's. I will pop some photos up later, and of her cutting, and you can see the length of my hair, and it's now in 8 different little plaits waiting to be sent away to be made into a wig. And I am very pleased with my haircut, and especially with this hot weather, I can tell you it's been fantastic having it short. So yeah, thank you. Right, so this card here, I then decided that I would make using these elements from the sheets that you push out, and I'm going to change the orientation and just change it a little bit, but having that idea of the ornaments hanging down. Yeah, my hairdresser was quite impressed that I had persevered, because it was pretty long and it's quite thick, and so it was kind of like, I can't do another summer with this length. But yeah, I just really felt led to just keep growing it and to be able to donate it for this little girl, so that yeah, I don't know what it would be like without, you know, not having your hair, and at that age, and kids can be so cruel. So yeah, I'm very pleased that I could do it. I don't think I'll be growing it again though, not to that length. So I'm just putting some designer series paper. They were just some strips that I had, and so I thought, oh right, I'll use those. Now I have just realized that I haven't got my tear and tape, so good thing my craft space is small. Right, so what I have done is I have put dimensionals already on the back of my ornament, and so it's kind of like when you've got a design of a card, you don't need to go and you know, recreate a layout. Just use what you've got with other elements, either a different stamp or whatever. But when you find something that you like, recreate it. So I may have got that other one a bit low. Not too bad. We can, so that will still fit over. And then, so I just used some linen thread. So those two had holes in it, and I just threaded it through, but this one didn't, so I've just taped it on the back. And we'll pop that one there. Now I think what I'll do is I will just push a strip all the way along there like that, and then peel that off, and then I can just fold. Oh, it's not behaving, so then we'll just pop that over the edge. And that one over the edge, and that one over, just like that, and then we'll pop some liquid adhesive, and I'll pop that flat. And then, so I'm using Real Red as my base. So there's my 3 ornaments, similar. So using this as the inspiration for it. Now, then I'm going to just pop my Merry Christmas. I'm just going to pop these ones straight on because the ornaments have got the dimension. We'll just slide that one in there. And I just, these were the offcuts, so when I trim my basic white to being the 10 by 14.3, I had these strips here, so they were perfect size, and I've just stamped the sentiment from the seasonal tags, which I've really enjoyed having for this. I probably just need to pop that about there. So this is the seasonal tags. I liked this one because you could have merry or happy with your Christmas or your holidays, and then you've got the other happy and merry to go with them. And I just like that. It gives the option because not everybody likes to have Merry Christmas. And then I'm just going to use the traditional sparkling sequin, and I'm just not sure whether, I think my green's going to be not the right, so I think we might just go with, we'll go with red. One up there, one over there, one down there. So there we go. There is our card that is inspired by this one here, and then on the inside for this one, so you can see the trees are just the outline. I have done it on previous cards where I've used watercolor pencils to color, so for these ones I just stamped them full strength, and then the stamped off in between to sort of give the depth for the trees. And then these ones were done with garden green and a watercolor pen, blender pen. So that's that one. Now then so these cards are for work. We're having our work Christmas lunch on Thursday, and we are going to the zoo and having lunch in the elephant house. So I wanted to do Christmas cards to go with the little gifts that we've got for staff. And so this is another one of the images that, upside down, that are from this sheet. And I've used the Nested Essentials dies and just matted it with the bigger size. Now this bit, as you will see in the next card, these are actually two pieces, so they were offcuts that I had from this paper. And so I thought, well, by putting them straight down and then this one over the top, you won't actually know that that is actually two pieces of DSP. So I have gone with shaded spruce as my base, just because I had a card base, and then I'm going to have the white, and then here you can see, so what I did was that I just added a small border for the pieces, and then we'll pop this one, we'll pop it in the middle, I think. So these are two of the elements that are in the push out bit. So what I'm going to do is just put this one down flat. So I'm casing this but with the elements. So if I pop that there, I think I had it so that I could, yeah, and then I'm just going to put this up on dimensionals just to something a bit different from the card that we're casing. And that's just going to go there like that. So then, oops, might need to put a bit more there. I think it's got a bit clogged. So I'll move that one out of the way and pop that down in the middle. So with the liquid glue, you've got a little bit of time to wriggle it and get it into place. And then I think I was going to do it. So yeah, we'll do this one in the center just so that it's a bit different. That's about right. And then we'll, so it's a way of using up your offcuts of either paper or cardstock when you're going to be covering it up. So, oops. Here we go. And then for this one, I am going to just put it so that it's going to be like that, I think. And again, I'm just going to keep, so on this one here, because the image was flat, I put dimensionals on the sentiment, but with this one, because the center bit is on dimensionals, I'm just going to put the sentiments just straight on. There we go. Now, for this one, I think I will go again with the gold. There's enough red, and the green's not quite the right green. My papers. So there are the two cards, so just slightly different, but using the elements that kind of mix and match. And there's two others. So I've still got some more to do, but I just thought, well, I would share how to use the papers and the different little elements. So I hope you've got something out of that you may not have this paper pack, but that you can do it with other stamp sets and papers and things that you have. So use the design, but see how you can switch it out with another set. So I hope you've enjoyed that. Have a great rest of your evening, and we'll catch you again next week for the last video for 2015. See you later. Thanks.